Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Lucky Star Tarot. Today's pick a card will be about what's next in your love life. What can you expect? Whether there will be any surprises, things that go, things that stay. I wanted to focus on the next 6 months of your life, basically. And yeah, so this will be group number one, group number two, and group number three. And I'll give you a few seconds so you can choose your oracle card. Hello, group number one. The oracle card you chose is Clear Out the Old. It's a little hard. There it is. It is a very intricate card. And I feel like the message of Clear Out the Old, well, it's pretty direct. But then we'll see in the cards. So, the guidebook of the oracle, which is Nature's Whispers, by the way. It's beautiful. All the illustrations are gorgeous. But the oracle guidebook says, whatever you are experiencing now is a creation that you have brought into existence from past thoughts and feelings. While in this moment it may have you caught up, you can let go and begin to dream of a new reality. Let go of the aspects of this creation that no longer serve you or have a purpose. Release what has gone wrong in the past. Release also any material possessions that do not serve the new dream you now want to create. Know that where you are now, you can create anew and begin again. So the oracle is telling you not to hold on to things that do not really, something that may have been wonderful before or exactly what you wanted may not be that way now. And that doesn't make you a bad person. It just means you've changed, that you've grown, and that you maybe are not, you're just not the same person you were before. So maybe it's time for, not for something to happen to you, but for you to make a change. And the idea here is that you don't really know what's going to come, because if you can see this figure right here, he is blindfolded. But his eyes are are a light underneath the blindfold. So like even if he cannot see what comes, he still has that guiding light inside him. And if you see there's a keyhole in his chest. Whoa, I was going to the side there a little. That shows a little very nice place inside with a path. So it's like unlock your inner thoughts and ask yourself, is this really what I want? What do I want? And then you just have to get rid of that which is not what you want. And I just noticed he has a partner here, a loving one. So which is on brand with the topic of the reading. There's also here the owl for wisdom. And we have here for time and change. So yeah, I think you have time to sit down, meditate, and reflect, and I feel like you have support around you for that, due to that girl on the picture. But yeah, so it's about you doing something, not something happening to you, I believe. So now let's get some tarot cards to delve further into what this could mean for you. So clarifying this, clear out the old. So you got the Knight of Cups. The Ace of Wands. And the King of Cups. Can you see them? Well, it seems like you're very grounded on your feelings. Like you've got them quite under control, but you do have the driving force that it takes. However, you're keeping it still. You're not pointing your stick. I forgot the word. But you know, the sticks, the I forgot the word. Well, the sticks represent this projective energy, which is usually dubbed as masculine. But this thing of setting creation in motions, having your willpower like an arrow pointed at what you want, right? You have your feelings very well grounded. I would say that you're a very mature person because one would look at the knight and say, well, he's not that old. But then we have the king here. You can reach no higher heights in terms of stability over your feelings. So maybe you're just in a position in which you're comfortable, you have dominated things, and you have this idea or this will that you want to make a change, but you're just not doing it for some reason. Because you have your cup full. You've already done the journey to fill your cup. You have so much to offer here. You have an ocean to offer in terms of emotional stability. And you always have to play like a little bit of psychologist to your partner, same as they do with you. Listen, nourish the same way you want to be nourished and whatnot. And I feel like you got a lot of that. You may, however, be a little distant here from people in general. Like you got all this to offer, but you're not just like putting it on people's faces like, hey, do you want some of my cup? I feel like you might be more reserved. Maybe you're a more mature person, right? Or maybe more introverted. But whatever change you might want, you probably already know what it is. You're just not going for it. And then again, this is a very slow moving knight. And this is a man that, even though he's in the middle of the sea, he's standing in a very thick concrete slab. I mean, sitting, right? His simple throne is on top of a concrete slab. Like, you're not just going with the flow, you're not in a boat, you're not going anywhere. You're on the middle of your sea, holding your power and your full cup. And I cannot stress this enough, but you have enough to give to a family if you wanted, in terms of what you can offer emotionally, which is insane to me. That's a pretty insane card to be represented by. Because most people have such, I mean, myself included, such trouble with handling emotions, knowing how to set boundaries with them, knowing how much is enough to give, being able to refrain from trying to give when you don't have anything in your cup. And I feel like you got all that figured out. And so that makes you a very desirable partner, I'd say. Now, none of these cards indicate to me that you are partnered up, so maybe now that you have this solid foundation, that's what you're looking for. But you maybe are not going too hard after it. Like, yeah, I want a relationship maybe, but you know what? I'm fine as I am. And they say that love finds you when you're not looking. But okay, let's see. What could they expect next in their love life? Whoa. Okay. The Knight of Wands. Wands, that's the word. Can't really see very well. My setup is kind of humble. Okay, so you got the Knight of Wands. Once again, more wands, more knights. This could literally mean that someone is coming in, all rushed, with his own, or their own, I'm sorry, since the knight is a male, with their own desire here. And they're holding it steadfast and ready. And it's fun because you both have one, and both of them are sprouting. So it's like a fertile wish, like a will, same as yours. But this one's moving, kind of fast. The horse is all passionate about it. The knight is laser focused. Like his fluff or whatever this is shining behind. And now that I notice this fluff, this knight here, You might be slower on the uptake than whomever or whatever this is, but you're also going to meet them just at your pace. A king doesn't rush for other people, does he now? And if you look at it, this knight, he's got wings on his helmet. And the air usually is represented by the sword, but also by wings, of course. Who flies other than the creatures of the air? Who else needs wings? And the air is usually the mental capacity. It tends to refer to people who are more um, logical, thoughtful, people who think rather than just act. So maybe you're just taking it slower. You're not as passionate. You're more logical. Um, More of a sword in the air for your thoughts. You cut things clear. You're intelligent, probably. Or at least very wise. But I want to say you're intelligent for some reason. Um, yeah. And if you look at it, this knight, your knight, has creatures of the water on his dress, on his tunic. The other knight has creatures of the earth, like iguanas, I think. So yeah, I feel like something is coming in quite passionately to meet you, but it's not something that you don't want, because I feel like it's pretty on sync with you. So this thing that's coming in, this person, what is it? Is it a person? Is it a... Oh, okay, calm down. Jesus Christ. That's a lot. That is a lot. Okay, let's just put this back, because that's not how I do things here. So, okay, getting back on track, this thing. Well, a lot of cards fell out and I wasn't violently shuffling. So you might take that as an idea of just how much energy this is. Even though it's only 1/1, it's full of sprouts. So yeah. Okay, so this thing coming in, this passionate thing. Okay, let's just get 2 cards. I feel like 2 cards. Okay, the moon and the 2 of swords, which also happens to have a moon and a bunch of water. Okay, let's get 1 more. The 6 of cups. And you see all that. Okay, so the most direct and like well-known meaning of this card, is that you have to make a choice, right? And this girl is blindfolded, just like this guy over here. Can you see the guy over here? Yeah. So you do not know, really, where your choices will lead you, which might be why you are not really going after it so much. And you have the moon here as well, which talks about instinct. The animals tend to represent human instinct. And here you have an animal of the water, of the depths, if you might. I mean, it's not really an animal of the depths, but it's coming out of the water, which could be the depths of your emotion. And they're all looking at the moon, which tends to represent hidden things. But you may also see it as a beacon in the dark, right? The same way sailors follow stars, or used to. I don't know if the modern sailors use other methods. But back in the day, they used constellations to guide their way. They were like, oh, this is north, this is south, and it was all due to the stars. So while the moon might represent this mystery, this idea, your instinct knows where the light is, where it's going, right? And the third card is the 6 of Cups, which speaks of a very tender and innocent relationship. You can see this little kid giving this other little kid a cup full of green life with white flowers, which in most Western cultures, white kind of represents purity, the purity of this innocent, fresh love. So whatever's coming in, as much as you feel like, oh no, I have to choose, maybe you have to choose between this nice, cozy life that you have built for yourself and this idea of a relationship, which for you might be uncharted territory for whatever reason. Maybe it's a new type of partner. Maybe it's you just haven't been in many relationships. You just haven't been in a serious adult relationship. I don't know. But you're hesitating more than you need to, I believe. Okay, let's get some advice. Maybe an advice card would do you some good. You may even have a little crisis over it. But okay, if they go ahead with it, whatever this is that's coming in, if they go along and meet it halfway with their cup, what could the outcome feel like? Oh, it's yet another night. Um, night of coins. It's not coins. Well, in Spanish we call it a gold. That suit is the gold suit. And night of coins. I am so forgetful. So this knight is super slow. He's actually not even moving yet. He's holding a coin, and in this deck, I mean, in general, this suit represents the earth, something that is really fertile but slow moving. So, whatever it is you're worried about, you're not rushing into anything. It might actually, in fact, be something very slow but very promising. And it might somehow influence your finances positively. But it's just a start. I feel like you're so steady, like grounded and just steady. Like you could be a mountain or a very old tree or some other form of a little imposing, like unmovable, like you could be an unmovable force if you wanted to. Unmovable object, right? Versus unmovable force. You could be the unmovable object if you wanted to. You must have a really strong will. But yeah, I think that if you were to take the leap, you would find something really sweet. But that would progress kind of slow, which I feel would suit you very well from what we've seen so far. So, finally, part of advice. And honestly, you may feel younger than you actually are because you have the king here, which is who you are, I feel. But these cards, they're all knights. They're kind of young. So this might be something you're not experienced in so much, but you got a pretty solid start, you know? Horses got four legs, and four is the number of Earth. So you got what it takes to take the journey, for sure. Even if you feel like a little inexperienced, you're still a knight. Okay, so an advice card. Oh, Three of Cups. Enjoy yourself. Just enjoy yourself. You're so cautious. If you enjoy yourself, you'll find yourself in a very nice, very fulfilling place. Like, just don't let the opportunity slip by, maybe. Because the impetu, I don't know if that's a word. Maybe I'm just mixing things, but the willfulness of this one might, I don't think so, because I feel like it's something meant for you, but it might just, pass you by at some point if you do not meet it halfway or at some point. You can't just expect for things to happen to you or to be chased or whatever. People talk a lot about manifestation, for instance, and I've heard some people say, like, If you're doing things, you're not manifesting. But as above, so below. From Kether to Malkut. And what's on your mind, you must do. Put your money where your mouth at, type of thing. So you can't just sit there and expect that. You need to go. You need to get on your horse and go at your own pace with what you want to offer, but you have to go. But honestly, this will just enjoy yourself. You'll land into a very nice place. You don't need to be so cautious, so unapproachable, so intimidating. Because it's only good things. It's a good forecast. You'll have fun. You'll be somewhere you can feel comfortable. A fertile place, full of cups that are full. You won't encounter yourself in an unfavorable position. You'll do just fine. So I think that's all I have for you. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for giving me a chance. And I hope to see you again soon. Bye. Hello, group number 2. The oracle card you chose is laughter. It's once again this gorgeous roaring. And it has these two fairies riding, not unicorns, but Pegasus maybe? And having the time of their lives with it. One is leading, the other is following along, enjoying himself. And yeah, it's just a very nice card. So let's see what the Oracle book says about it. Laughter breaks up stagnant energy, gets things moving, and helps relax you. Laughter is a powerful antidote to stress, pain, and conflict. Nothing works faster, or more dependably to bring your mind and body back into balance than a good laugh. Humor lightens your burdens, inspires hopes, connects you to others, and keeps you grounded, focused, and alert. So yeah, laughter is good basically, but I do think maybe the idea that it breaks up stagnant energy. Like maybe you've been caught up in a stressful place and you feel like you're either not going anywhere or that you're not enough or that things will never I'm sorry, get better. But maybe you just need a little ruckus. Just a little laughter. Like maybe just enjoy yourself more rather than being focused maybe only on goals. Like the point of the Odyssey was not the final destination, but the Odyssey, how much it took to get there. I think the man was going to Ithaca. So the point wasn't Ithaca, it was barely on the book. The point was the whole journey he undertook and all the monsters he fought and all the people he met. So I know it's boring all time. Yeah, I know this advice, but enjoy the little things. Like really taste your next cup of coffee and go, this one's actually ballin'. This one is fantastic. It's so warm and it is so cold. This is so nice. Or something like that, It really, maybe you're a boss girl. I don't know. Maybe you're working too much. Okay, let's just clarify this. Oracle card, this laughter card. Laughter. Oh, and I do want to point out, they are above the clouds, okay? This fun that you need might not be, going out to a bar, It might just be that you need to take a bath and think about nice things. It doesn't have to be something rambunctious. You could just, whatever it is that relaxes you a little, that breaks your monotony, might help. Okay, so clarify this laughter. Okay, so we have the Six of Coins, the Knight of Cups, and the Queen of Coins. Okay, I think you might be a very affluent person. I think you might have your finances figured out. And that might just be the reason of your stress, maybe, or of this stagnant feeling. Perhaps you feel like you've got all of this earthly things figured out, but then you feel a little small in terms of emotional experience or potential or what have you. Because here you have a queen, here you have the six of coins. This is his very well dressed man giving money to beggars, right? You're in a position to give, you're in a position to help. But in terms of emotions, you are a mere knight. And I do think it's relevant that this knight is like enclosed on this. Like, I feel like maybe you put up a front and that maybe your finances are involved somehow. And you feel like you don't have that much to offer because from a queen to this six entire coins, there's only one cup. So maybe you're feeling insecure. Maybe you feel like you don't have much to give in terms of love. And that might be a blockage in your love life. Okay, so now this might also be an offer from somebody, but I feel more like it represents you. Okay, so yeah, maybe you just need to I I don't know how to. Maybe you have built a persona around yourself, around your whatever it is that you're so abundant on. And maybe you don't know how to break out of it. Maybe you just, because to make it, you sometimes need to be more serious, more harsh, more detached. And maybe you're having trouble letting go of that. Maybe that's why you feel you don't have that much to offer, but you do. Okay? The knight will become the king at some point. Okay? You can't just start at the end line. You need to build that up. So, what's coming next? 6 months. Look. So, once again, I think you are your only problem, okay? I'm not gonna lie. I think you are the reason maybe that your love life, I don't know, maybe it's stagnant, as this one said. Maybe you're not doing so much. Maybe you have a relationship, but you're so busy with yourself and I don't know, your work or whatever. And then you're like caught up in your negative thoughts and you have all these ideas, but you don't do anything, right? But if you look at this at the end, because I asked what's coming in the 6 months, right? This was a clarifier. This was about you, like who are you? But at the end, you have the Queen of Cups, which can you have a better card in terms of emotions? Okay, she's grounded, but she got the whole sea around her. She's sitting on a very beautiful throne, which is way less austere. Because if you look at the king, her counterpart, he's way more austere. He's holding a cup and a little wand, but he's not nearly as decorated. He's not nearly as pretty or. So what I'm trying to say is like you will be more approachable and you will be happy. Look at her. She's happy with what she's holding. She's happy with what she's achieved emotionally. Okay, so because here when I say that you are your only problem, um, swords tend to represent air. The suit of swords is just air, and air is the mind, the thoughts. And for instance, the Queen of Swords is an extremely logical and like intelligent person. Somebody who can cut you up with their words, but can also slice up a problem into bits that can be managed. Somebody that can declare things very clearly and concisely. But here you're tied up with these very loose binds, right? There's all these swords here, but that's just on your mind. You're trapped in a cell of your own making. I mean, I'm not saying, oh, you're doing this for no reason, you know? Most of the time, we have these holdups because of our past, of things that have been said to us, or I don't know, things we've seen. Sometimes it takes one scene that you see in your life, just this one moment to mark you, right? To make you this afraid. And here I do like this similarity because all of these fears, and then there's all of these like wills, right? Because the wands are the suit of fire. It's usually related to fire by people, and it's a wand. It points, and as in most magical practices, it's used to focused energy. It's the physical vessel for a will, your will, right? And you got all these swords, and then you got this man who is also like in the midst of this forest of wands. You're here in this forest of swords. So maybe you do have all these intentions, but you're not acting on them, right? However, if you did, if you walked away from the swords, which is hard, I'm not saying it isn't. She is blindfolded, you know, but the way forward is pretty clear. There's nothing blocking her path. She's just choosing to stay there because she's afraid. She's afraid she'll get cut. But if you look at it, she just has to step forward and it's free. There's nothing to harm her there. It's just by going forward that she can be freed from the swords that were never trapping her, really, in the first place. Do I speak a lot? Yeah. So then, once you leave these swords, you have all of these intentions, all of these desires, but once again, not acting on them. You're just holding on to them, like, oh yeah, I do wish I don't know, I do wish I had a partner, and I do wish I could braid his hair, because, I don't know, I wish he had long hair so I could braid it, like, some silly little romantic wish that you may have. And, like, but you're not doing anything. But if you did, you'd find yourself so fulfilled emotionally. So fulfilled emotionally. So, like, happy and grounded. Hmm. Now, I do want to point out that this chalice, I think, has this little, they're not crab hands, but there's another sea animal. So this also has to do with what's deep below the surface of your emotions. You may have some baggage, right? But if you process it, then it'll become nothing more than the core for your nice little life, or whatever it is that has you so happy that you can focus on it. You know, shifting the focus from the queen of coins, who is nursing her coin that she has obtained with all her hard work, to the queen of cups, who is here. Instead of focusing on the physical or the material only, right? Which is not a bad thing. You cannot have I don't know, a happy family without a solid house. You cannot have a comfortable life that allows you to be free enough to be happy if you do not have means. That's just how the world works. This doesn't mean that you'll let go of your money and or your things or whatever it is that you do that is grounding and moneyful and stable, and suddenly, I don't know, be destitute but happy. This just means that you'll switch your focus. Instead of it being on this more tangible thing, it will be onto your emotions, onto your emotionality. So I will not lie to you. I'm not feeling a lot of partnering from this. I think this is all about like an inner work that you're doing so that you have something that you feel is worth giving. You have something that is worth wanting. Because from this plain cup, which is good enough, okay, to this beautiful, decorated, worked on. So I think this is just like character development. You're just leveling up. I mean, not just. It's not that simple. It's not easy. It doesn't come with no work. You need to do work. Each and every single one of these ones needs to be pointed, and whatever's going on needs to be fulfilled. And unlike magic worlds, you don't just point and bam, right? Most work around that is setting things in motion in a plane, but you need to drag it down here through your own work and actions. Okay, so let's just see. What about a romantic partner? Is there anything like that on the horizon for laughter? So again, the Knight of Wands. So there might be someone who wants your attention, but I also feel like once you reach this stage, things will be set in motion. This is somebody who's starting their journey with like all the energy and passion, and they're so ready to run and get what they want, but they're still at the beginning of their journey. They're not arriving, that's why they're young. So there might be something in the future, but for now, this is more about you, I think. More about yourself. More about finding that inner, well, about having this cup that makes you so fulfilled by yourself that you're content with it. Maybe you're, I don't know, hitting 30 and you were always told that once you're 30 you're no longer wanted because only up to 25 because yada yada, and maybe you'll just be like, I honestly don't care, or I honestly think that is dumb. You're going through this whole process not to find somebody but to, and I know it's cliche, but love yourself. And you know how they say that you need to love yourself before somebody else can love you? And it sounds a little silly and a little tired, but if you don't love yourself, how are you going to believe somebody else could love you? If you hate your life, how are you going to believe somebody wants to come into it? Right? You can't just expect somebody to go, oh, I can fix her. Because you're not a house. You're not a fixer upper. You're a whole person. Right? Um, yeah. So I feel like this is more about yourself. About finding that balance, maybe. About being able to develop, not only your girl boss side, but your nurturing side too. And then nurturing yourself. The same way you nurture yourself with the manifest world, you nurture yourself in your inner world. And find out that you actually have a lot to give and a lot to keep. That you're not just anybody. That you're not only a queen, but two whole queens, okay? That is crazy energy. That is two whole queens. Not everybody gets two whole queens, okay? So yeah, I feel like that's all I got for you. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for giving me a chance. And I hope to see you soon. Hello, pal number 3, and welcome. The oracle card you chose is Celebrate Differences, which features this dolphin and this unicorn, who are both from different worlds, different races, different worlds, but they're working together, right? They have similarities as well as differences. And if you look at the general shape of the card, it's a little bit like yin or yang, it's complementary. From the land to the sea, it's all one big system. But let's see what the guidebook has for us. Okay, you understand that everything in life comes with an opposite. Even within yourself, you have polarity. Male, female, high, low, good, bad, light, dark. It is our differences that make us unique. We all come from the same collective and all have the light of the inner soul. The more we learn and grow in our thoughts and attitudes, the more understanding and compassion can develop within our lives. Take a moment to appreciate an individual for the qualities that they are sharing with you and find what learning can be gained from this situation. So what stands out to me this time is learning from others. You might be a proud unicorn. That doesn't mean you can't learn from a dolphin, right? Also, a dolphin snout is kind of like a unicorn's horn, I guess, but that might just be me. Okay, so clarifying, celebrate differences. What is this about? In terms of love, of course. Oh. Do you have a lot of sexual trauma, maybe? Oh. Jesus Christ, okay. I don't know if I feel very clarified at the moment. Okay, so first and foremost, a crisis is not the end of the world, you know? You've probably heard this 1,000 times, but the tower is not like the worst card in the world. It's just, something has to shake, something has to give. You cannot have change and everything remain unchanged. It might just be what you need because you seem to be trapped in some pretty stuck patterns of thought. Now, the devil tends to deal with the physical. My camera died. I mean, my phone, really, but yeah. So, here, as I was saying, has to do with material things, but in this case, I think it refers to being stuck on a cycle of toxic relationships, maybe. And this would have to do with the ideas you have about love or with your current partner that you may feel trapped in, right? You may have a toxic approach to love or always seek out the same type of relationships, like you're trapped in a cycle that is not good for you. And this is you maybe to you not liking, like, oh my god, this person does this and thus I dislike him, or this or that, like this idea that you're not accepting differences may lead to these patterns or may contribute to this unhealthy patterns that you have. But the important thing here is that if you look at this person, they're bound, sure, but the binds, the binds, what bounds them is not really well secured. They could slip out free easily. Their emotions are all scattered in these little puddles, but they're also pointing the way forward. And the way forward is clear of swords. So you're trapped in a jail of thoughts, of past experiences, of fears, but none of those are manifest things. I don't want to say that you're exaggerating because you never know what somebody has been through. In the end, trauma and fears are just a way of keeping ourselves safe. It's like express learning. You see one thing, you get traumatized, you learn to never let this happen, or never do this, or never do that. But in this situation that you're in, through celebrating differences somehow, you can break free. Now, if you don't, this will result in a crisis, which might be good in and of itself because it might bring things into order. It might help you get out. But it may also mean, for instance, let's say the worst case scenario. You and your partner cannot see eye to eye, you're trapped in a toxic relationship, and you need to do this change in perspective, whatever they have to do, your job or the work you need to put in might be a change in perspective, right? Right? Is he, I don't know, are they being obtuse or am I being obtuse? Like maybe this is just their way of doing things. Maybe you're too uptight, I don't know. But worst case scenario, you have a breakup. Like that's the worst I can think of. Right? And if you truly are trapped in this type of cycle, then it might just be worth it. Might just be what you need. Okay. What can they expect next in the 6 months in your love life? Magician, you have potential. King, a king, that's not bad at all. And the emperor. Okay, so I think it all hinges on whether you transmute the situation or not. The magician, if you look at him, he's got the four elements on his table. He has the infinity on his mind. As above, so below. He is the path, right, of transmutation. From Kether to Malkuth, I think. The air, the thoughts, the astral plane, whatever. The higher powers to earth, like a lightning rod. He can get, and he's pointing down. He's bringing it into action. That is his wand, yes. But he got the four elements. He can transmute anything into anything. He's like an alchemist. So I feel like if you don't transmute something, because there's two ways of going about this. If you don't transmute this, you become stagnant. Because in a good day, a king is the emperor is a steady, stable figure that you can rely on, that is mature, that may represent a father maybe, but it can also be a tyrant. Somebody who does not allow change, who will never leave his set ways, who will oppose every last bit of change or whatever you try to bring into it, right? And the King of Wands, of course, is basically the King of Will, or the King of Fire. So he will have his way no matter what, right? That is his nature, that is his lot in life. So if you don't transmute your situation, you will end up stucker in a worse place. But if you do, you may you may gain a new like a new position. You may realize things about yourself and about your situation that would lead you to be at the helm instead of just being this trapped individual in this noxious cycle. You become the emperor yourself. You're at the helm. You are the one calling the shots. You're the one who's got the authority. So I feel like you must be in a pretty complicated situation, to be honest. Because this is insane. Let's try and get some advice cards. What's some advice to get to the good end of the situation that would make this pile happier or be more free? Because I feel like freedom, I feel like you feel constricted. Like you feel like you don't really have anywhere to go, like be it your thoughts or people around you. You feel like there's no way out, there's no exit. But there is, and it lies within you. This is some advice. It's all about working and sharing. That's crazy. That is crazy. This is the very image of hard work. You don't get anywhere without working, right? This man has carved each and every single one of this, and he will keep doing so, for that is his job. He is focused, he is tranquil, he has the tools for the trade. Meaning you have the tools, but you need to put in work. You might need to go to therapy, if I'm honest, or do a lot of inner working. You need to be able to hold your balance, to keep things balanced and fair. Not to shut yourself and become this stone that helps nobody, or this tyrant that just does whatever they want, regardless of other people. You need to work on yourself and not forget that others need you very much. But do not let yourself feel once again, oh my god, I am above them, I help them, I am charitable. But rather take it as like the balance of life. You know, you have, they don't. Once again, I feel like you're a very powerful person inside, but like Spider-Man, great power, great responsibility. This power might just be turning you into a very stiff person, into somebody who's trapped by their beliefs, who won't change, who refuses to budge, who thinks they know what's right and will just do so. But you have the power to transmute this. It's just hard work, balance, and not closing yourself up. You because this guy is a little too focused on his task. This guy can see the rest, right? It can offer some aid, and aid is just interaction. I mean, what I refer to is like, I feel like more than you giving to people, this card refers to you not locking yourself in. Looking at the world around you, keeping stuck while you work on whatever it is that keeps you trapped in this toxic cycle, in this constant inner jail of ideas, experiences, thoughts, whatever. Because through work, you can break free and you can avoid becoming this, the bad side of an emperor, not the good side. The good side is great. You probably already have that. But you can avoid the negative qualities of this card. And at the end of all your work, you have the Queen of Cups, which I personally feel there's no better card to be in terms of emotions. The Queen of Cups got her feet on the ground, but also a piece of it is on the water. It's an organic queen. She has her chalice with all she has for herself, and that she could give if she wanted to. She has overcome her traumas. Here you have a pincers, I think they're called. Pincers? Where are the pincers? There they are. From like a crab. I'm sorry about my finger, it's a little messed up. From like a crab or a sea creature. I don't really know if a crab can be that curved. But sea creatures lie below the sea surface, right? Not crabs in particular, but once again, I don't think it's a crab. I think it's a lobster. Anyway, that's irrelevant. These creatures lay beneath the surface. So this queen has conquered her trauma. Because what lies beneath your emotions? What drives your fear responses, your instincts? Right? A lot of it may have to do with trauma, with past experiences, with something that keeps you stuck in your ways, which lead to toxicity. But you have the power to get out of this. You still have the side. If you look at this guy, he's leaning to the side. It's like he's listening. He's still not entirely closed off, and neither are you. And you can become this Queen of Cups, who has this beautiful chalice full of beautiful emotional things. She has conquered her fears and her traumas. She is sitting pretty in a bountiful throne. It's not a simple throne, you see. It's a pretty throne. It's non-threatening. Imagine mastering the sea, something that we haven't done as humanity. That is what this queen has done. She has mastered the fears that lie beneath in order to have this beautiful pure water in this chalice that she can give to everybody. So I think you're just threading a line here. Are you going to allow yourself to become this tyrant? Or are you going to become this queen who can nurture whomever she likes? Who could dominate any type of sea beast? And all it takes is walking out of this, which might be extremely hard, right? Hard work, grabbing a hold of your will, working, and you'll just become this. You're not a bad person. You have all the potential in the world to walk away from that. Okay? I know that's a bit heavy and It may sound a bit mean, but now another interpretation we could give this is that you're trapped under this authority figure, right? Maybe it's a terrible boyfriend. Let's say it's a terrible partner, but you're trapped there because of your past experiences and traumas, right? So you have this figure that is keeping you locked in. And once again, if you don't do the work, a crisis will come and we don't know what will happen after. But if you do the work, you can break free by yourself and become the queen or even the scales, even if you wish to remain. But yeah, that is what I see for you. File number 3. I hope it helps, even just a little. And I hope to see you again soon. Bye.